a beautiful Thursday morning, and we are gradually approaching the weekend. And guess what? We are here for your viewing pleasure here on Tea or Coffee on High Impact Television, your first full HD TV station in Nigeria. My name is Wuraola Popola. Good morning.
Yes, my name is Mudukwe Jacobs, and you're welcome to Tea or Coffee. And it is a bright Thursday.
I know.
Yes. And I'm super excited because it's just a day to Friday, and then we have the weekend.
Thank God it's weekend.
Yes. And then we are counting in days into Christmas.
Christmas, yes. But here is a good news that happened yesterday. We talked about Victor Lauton, the veteran actor.
Yes.
Finally, someone is coming to, rescue and help.
I'm just doing like I didn't know.
That person is... So really...
RMD.
Okay, so Richard Moffett Damijo, he has finally helped by sending a message across to Femi Otedola, the billionaire businessman in Nigeria. And he has decided to help, clear the medical bills. Thank God for that, because I was so concerned that why would we have someone like that in the movie industry who is doing well. I mean, and then there is no one to, come out and help rescue for the past 2 years.
2 years.
But thank God, we hope for a safe recovery for him, and we hope that he gets back on his feet soonest.
And also, he thanked Benro Ajibade because he was the one that started the course.
Exactly. The fact that he, in Nollywood, there is usually this... age difference, age brackets. They tend to say, okay, this class of people or this group of people are the older ones. They should do the old movies and all. Then we, the young ones, should come together. But then knowing that everyone actually worked together in unity, and that is exactly what Benro has done. He is young and he has helped out someone. And trust me, when you help will come your way.
And I was surprised to see that his wife, Osas Ajibade, also posted saying amen to the prayer, he prayed. Because I know there were speculations about him and his wife, but that's a story for another day.
Exactly, because I don't think we want to delve into that right now.
Okay, so I will try not to throw shades at this next story.
Okay.
But gladly, and I'm happy about the fact that China has unveiled Nelson Mandela's statue to mark diplomatic relationship
I saw the picture.
with South Africa. Now, that is the type of statues that should be erected,
You said you're going to throw shades,
no,
right?
I said I would try not to, and I didn't.
Okay.
So I'm just saying that in passing, he's someone that we should celebrate. Yes,
definitely.
That, China is able to do that.
With his contributions and efforts while he was alive, he's someone that people should come together to celebrate. I mean, he fought the way for freedom. I mean, I look at the Global Citizen Festival that also happened. It was also it was in place to celebrate Mandela and his legacies. And we are glad that he lived a good life, not just for himself, for the sake of other people also. And that is why make sure when you're alive, do everything you can to impact people around you. Your neighbor, start from your neighbor and make sure that you impact people with whatever you have. And, okay, you go first.
And people were actually making jest of the statue, which I feel that shouldn't be our concern. So
exactly.
We know that who the statue is representing. We should respect that and sip some tea or coffee.
People can be funny, actually, but for the fact that someone or the thought to actually come together and do this should be appreciated, and not that the statue doesn't look like Mandela. I'm like, huge. Let's not go there right now. But then I just feel the statue being there is what should be appreciated, not and how legacy. It looks like. Yes. Okay. So to the next story. No, you go.
Okay. Now this one is something that people actually talk about. That is meeting on social media, and then it's becoming something beautiful that we can celebrate. So there was a post on social media saying, "We started on Twitter and we are married today. Newlyweds shared their unique love story."
The last time we had a guest on the show, I mentioned he was saying that he does not feel that you getting married or meeting on social media
I remember that.
would lead anywhere. And I remember saying that there are actually people that meet on social media and are married, and not just married, but have been married for a while.
long time.
Now, this is someone that met her partner on Twitter. And now they are married. We just hope that the marriage would actually last and stay quite. But trust me, that wedding, from the expression, I feel
it's like a happy one.
Yes, exactly. I see love in the air, but well, congratulations to them.
Yes, congratulations, and I hope other people can also trust in finding love on social media, and not just because people are really scared.
Exactly,
these days,
we can't keep looking at the negative part of social media. It also has its positive sides if you make use of it effectively for your own positive use, not negativity.
Well said.
Exactly. Okay, so now let's move to this issue of, but before I mention the issue, I came across a story of Alex, and Alex Bain welcomes a child just a week after he turned 17 with his girlfriend, Levy, who is 16 years old.
Well,
now that didn't happen in Nigeria. To start with, because here in Nigeria, that is not legalized.
You have to be 18.
Exactly, before you can.
Yes,
I feel
married.
they are young.
Well,
in my own opinion, I feel they are still young, and there's still so much to learn before, going into marriage.
I think, 18 is fair enough, actually, but 16, 17, you're still trying to put your life together. You're a teenager. And, well, me talking from experience of being a teenager, there are so many things that you still want to put in place. You're still trying to figure out your life, figure out your personality, get to know yourself, who you really are.
Yeah.
So now bringing someone else into your space, I won't rule out the fact that people actually, grow early, like they grow fast. They grow fast these days. But then I feel your teenage days, your teenage years should be the one of self-discovery.
Exactly, because you hear a lot of people say that, okay, marriage is the continuation of your relationship. But then, if you're going to look at it, so much responsibility, so many responsibilities comes with marriage.
Especially when you have a child.
If in relationship you were just talking about, okay, when it is her birthday, I get her a gift, she gets me and all of that. Now, you're married. There are some kind of responsibilities that would flash into her problem becomes your problem. Whatever she's going through, you are also going through it because you're in it together. And for that age, I feel their minds are still too young for, and not talking of having a child. Oh well, but it's more like you are.
There's I want to say, but I'm so careful.
You're a teenager and you are having a child. You are still learning whether you like it or not. You are still
and the child's going to look up to you in the long run.
Look at what you're doing and you're going to serve as a mentor to that child. So I feel at that age, you should still be under the guidance of your parents. 18 is fine, but 16, no, I don't think so.
My prayer and my heart goes out to them. Congratulations, and hopefully you pull through whatever challenge come your way and whatever issues
and people like that, they should have people around them
that comes with being married too. I wish you all the happiness.
And I feel they should have people around them that would help counsel and guide them at the time that is necessary. All right, so we still have more to come on tea or coffee, and you do not want to miss out on that. We're going on a break, and when we come back, we'll have our guest in the studio. Do stay tuned.
Planning a family vacation? Want to have a memorable time with your loved ones? Enjoy a season of family adventure this Yuletide at High Impact Planets Amusement Park and Resort with up to 20% discount for park tickets and amazing family packages. Event highlights include karaoke night, African night, family games night, Christmas and New Year Carnival, Praise Blast Gospel Concerts featuring some of Nigeria's finest gospel artists. Friday, the special guest at our prestigious Majors Lounge, comedy night, and family treats at our tastefully furnished apartments. This package runs from the 16th of December 2018 to the 6th of January 2019. High Impact Planet, fun just got real.
Jeg skal bli pappa, da.
Så bra, det.
Ja, det går fint. Hei, du har kommet til Tove. Jeg kan dessverre ikke ta telefonen akkurat nå, men legg igjen en beskjed.
Ja, jeg vet ikke hva jeg gjør. Jeg bare
Ok, nå kan vi gå.
Ja,
Jeg har ringt, og jeg har fødebrev. Kan jeg slippe inn først?
Et
lite øyeblikk, så må vi ta en av gangene her.
Nei, men det kan ikke vel stå.
Veldig bra. Puster du deg rolig gjennom det?
Puster riktig.
Jeg skal finne noe som du kan klemme. Jeg skal finne... Ja!
Meg? Hvem er det som er jeg som skal ha gjort det? Men det er jo noen som har gjort det.
Ja, men det er ikke henne, så hvis vi skal være veldig, veldig pirkete, så er det faktisk deg.
Du kan sitte for meg.
Hvad tror du, de hittar för något?
Det skal bare, det var en dum ulykke. Ja, i dag er det. Men i morgen så er der mord.
Bra.
Kom ut på trampolinen og så trampa han snett. Og han
Gå for faen.
Fuck, der er en norsk politimand. Vækker. Hva? Hun skal dø.
You know, most times during holidays, parents send their children to, you know, go get extra lessons, to summer school, to do extra studies and the likes. But we fail to realize that having a skill or two helps the child in a long run, and is advisable that we start that, at a very young age, because it helps them when they grow up. So today on Tea or Coffee, we'll be talking about skills development. And to do that, to discuss that with us, we have two guests in the studio. We have Adedayo, Adebogun, and we have Abraham Owosheni. Now, Abraham Owosheni is an educator and a life skills expert. And Adedayo Adebogun is a business startup consultant.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. You're welcome.
Okay, so we're talking about skills development.
Okay.
Now, before we delve into the topic, skills development, we'd like to know how important is it for you to actually have a skill aside your day-to-day job?
Okay. Let me just do a kind of a background to our focus this morning.
Okay.
So if we're talking about skills development, just like the illustration you gave, during breaks and holidays, parents still go for extra lessons and all of that. So what actually is the place of skills, right? So let me give these three major type of skills, right? So that we could just look at it holistically.
Okay.
Number one is you talk about technical skills, right? Or you could call it professional skills, such that in whatever career you are in, you are vast with the requisite technical skills to deliver, right? Secondly, we talk about life skills, or some people call them soft skills, right? These also are basic skills that you need to meet the demands of daily living. And then the third one you could also call is vocational skills, but that could be embedded with technical skills as well, whether it's professional career you're in or vocational career. Now, so having this holistic background, you can actually begin to appreciate the need to be skilled up, right? And you're not just skilled up, in one area. I see that the most dividend for skill up is actually when you have these three areas I've mentioned, right? You see a professional who is skilled in his technical delivery, but still lacks some form of character or values. So there's a gap in that area. And for me as a person, in a bulk of what I do, we found that life skills gap amongst young people, right? It's a big lacuna that we need to fill to deliver the benefit of skills. So a number of things are not working and we're not seeing the dividends because young people, young adults, teenagers are not built up around these areas of skills. And some are built in one, but deficient in others. And so we need it to be an holistic compass of skill development.
Okay, so Jaya, I would like you to contribute to what he just said.
Thank you very much. I will come from the angle of skill development, as it were. When it comes to education itself, there are a level of skills that is being played. Mathematics skills, where a child can solve mathematics intelligently. You don't take it out completely that skill development has to do with, when a child learns a trade, when a child learns to know, it's now trying to practice a skill and they are a particular field where maybe tailoring or, in a particular craft. So it's just, when we come of age in this part of the world whereby we are able to understand that, okay, we need to just sit our kids down that, these skills that you are going through now, it's just a requisite skill for every young person that is born. You need to go to school. So that's why. But you need to still move out of that shell and get other additional skills. When you have that particular roadmap, it makes a child understand that I'm not out of place if I am still going for tailoring. If I'm going, it's just additional skills. You understand? So but by the time we now marry those two together, it makes them comfortable that, okay, I'm not doing something strange. I'm only adding to my skills so that by the time I get out of, the academic environment, I become, very versatile and, have opportunities, to be able to get things for myself.
Okay, so we've talked about these three skills, the technical, the soft, and I refer to the other one as the hard skills, the vocational skills. Okay, so which one do you think is preferable, especially for children during holidays to learn?
Well, I don't want to be biased. Well, I will be in a way.
Okay.
But again, just like Dio said, parents first need to share the mindsets with the children first. Not about coercing a child to a particular thing, no. most times you find that when parents do that, it doesn't get the best results.
Exactly.
And so you sit your child down first and you're saying, okay, now that you're on break, we have these 4 weeks, you have these 6 weeks, you have these 2 months, these 3 months. What do you think? What's your plan? And so if it's a parent that has actually been watching through the development of the child and say, oh, for example, I've sensed that this child loves photography. I've sensed that this child is so good in this subject area in school or needs more attention in this subject area. And so that gives the parents an idea of what area we should place more emphasis, for example. And so you could say, oh, in these 4 weeks, how about you going for an internship or a traineeship in a photography studio? And so it's not just about we're just doing something aloof, but it's tailored. And when a parent shares that mindset with a child, it's thoughtful that, oh, mom and dad are thinking about me, not just thinking about themselves or a reflection of themselves in me. Exactly. It's about the child. And so a child really sees value in that and say, oh, that's true. Thank you for showing me this. And that's actually the goal of parents to guide and tailor a child towards the right path. So I wouldn't really say, oh, maybe the hard one, as you said, is the most paramount, but it's just about doing a need assessment part-time. If a child goes for this particular one this time, and then next time it goes for maybe life skills. For example, during holidays, at our youth organization, we run life skills and coaching for young people. And so you could say, oh, this first term break, can you go for this? This second term break, you're going to go to learn this one. And then so your education becomes holistic. That's the word I use. You have an holistic education, not just strengthened in academic prowess alone, but the other areas of life.
Okay.
So that's my view on that.
All right. Do you have anything to contribute?
Yeah, what I would say is this. This 21st century, just like we used to put it these days, it has come of a reasoning that child and parents will have to sit down. That's what happens in the normal climes when it comes to the Western world. You have to now sit down like as if you are having a discussion. You kind of, so it will not look like as if I'm selfish because I don't want at my old age, at my pension age, I don't want to be broke and nobody to send me stipend to take care of myself. It will look like as if I want, just like you said, I want the best for you. So like now, looking at what you likely would become because of the traits I find in you, can we just do this? Can we, when you begin to come in that approach, it's a win-win because it will be easy for the child and it will also be easy for you to even tailor that child in that direction to get the result that is desired.
Just to add to what Daya said, actually, if you look at the meaning of skill, it talks about a form of ability that you want to acquire or develop, right? And so, where for some, you find an endowment that needs some form of refining. And for some others, you acquire the skill. So we have acquired skill, we have endowed skill. Yes, and so, just to buttress that either ways, a parent is looking at that and then is helping the child to have both.
Okay. All right. So there's a situation of a particular woman who is into hairdressing.
Okay.
And now she feels that, okay, after I do this and I pass on, who is going to take over what I am doing? Who would I answer?
Yes.
Exactly. Who am I going to hand over my business to? So this child actually has a strength in tailoring.
Okay.
And then the mother pushes her to, hairdressing.
Okay.
And several times she would tell me that I am not interested in this. I'm just doing it to make her happy. So what impact do you think it would have on children when parents have to make choices for them?
Okay, you see, we have what we call generalized knowledge.
Okay.
And also we have what we call specialized knowledge. As we grow on in life, sometimes you have opportunities for generalized knowledge. But then you could maximize those opportunities. But as you maximize those opportunities, you should not be beclouded to forget the areas of specific knowledge a person needs. So, for example, that kind of a child, perhaps you just have an opportunity for a generalized knowledge. In other words, that knowledge may not necessarily be needed fully, like something you're going to engage every single day of your life. But it's just a generalized knowledge that, you have that, that knowledge about that area, and then you could just make some decisions or guidance for someone, just like that. But then it would be good if that child actually, just like you said, knows that, I'm more interested in this area. If there's a way simultaneously is also developing, himself or herself also in that area, So the other one just becomes a generalized knowledge, and this one just becomes a specific knowledge, right? And then we are meant to in the school of thought of skill development, we're meant to place more emphasis on specific knowledge, because that's the one we're going to engage the most. Okay. I have a number of generalized knowledge. I just know it. But then every single day, I'm engaged on specific knowledge, no matter how small, that we add to what I do. So that's the bulk of the skill development. But again, we may not necessarily forget or sublime generalized knowledge. If a child has an opportunity to learn maybe how to play saxophone or how to play, yes, he could just go for it. It's an opportunity, right? Just be generalized. And maybe as a child evolves in growth and in life, you may even find out, oh, I think I like this thing. You know, so especially for younger people, children, what a child needs is exposure, right? You don't start to build up skill in a child and you're just imposing everything. No. A very young child, a child is 3, 4, 5, just give him exposure. Exposure. And then as a parent, you're watching the various exposures and seeing which one catches the fancy of this child. And then as you see that one, perhaps that could be a specific area of knowledge, and then you invest more in giving the child knowledge in that area. And the result will be amazing. That's how we find young people who are major inventors and major creative art people and various fields at a younger age, because the parents gave them right exposure from the younger age, and then they were able to focus on the areas of their interest in this exposure. That's just amazing.
All right. So, Dayo, what would you have to say?
Just like I said when you started that scenario, I said, Nigerian factor, in the sense that everybody wants someone who will carry on his legacy.
Yes.
You understand? And this is barbaric in the sense that a child have to live his father's life.
Yes.
You understand? So, and they will start to cite examples of someone whose daddy is a lawyer and the son is also a lawyer, and then he's doing fine. It cannot be the same in all cases. And then why do you believe that person has maximized his own potential? While, because maybe he's averagely okay, he can travel, to choice location, and he can spend money and live good. It may not be fulfilling destiny. It may not be that, which he is called to do. As in, there's this calling, there's this passion. When you were able to do something without stress with ease, that people can say and say, man, this guy is just so good. Just looking at, the times we used to compare Ronaldo and Messi. I say one is ability, one is ability. Yeah, we used to say that. When you compare those two characters, you notice that Messi is just,
Please, before you go on, would you explain Abinibi and Ability?
Ability is what is inborn. Ability is what you are skilled.
What do you get to acquire?
Okay.
So you look at it, you see someone who effortlessly will achieve a result that someone will have to spend, will come very early, just like we used to hear Ronaldo will come very early to the training ground to just come and add those skills. To come and, put all those add on, so that by the time he's going to, put those things out, it will come out perfectly well. So you see that in Nigeria of us today, people tend to want to say, this is what I'm doing. So, at times I feel we just love the comfort zone. Because we want to say, okay, fine, we have the machine already here. I have the tape rule already here. Why do you now want to go to Yabola to go and then pay for the apprenticeship? You understand what I'm saying? So they want to play safe, so that the child can say, just for producing, continue, just look at what I'm doing. You are going to be playing with your friends. Just stay here, look at what I'm, so that you two can learn this thing and all this thing. Who am I going to leave up everything to?
Exactly.
So they end up trying to say they want to play safe. All these tools, the fear of the unknown, I don't want to lose it out. I don't want to throw them away. I want you to continue where I've stopped.
Exactly.
Then that means, please, the meaning of it is this: please abandon your own destiny and follow
mine.
What I'm doing.
Exactly.
Which is very bad.
Wow.
It's a mindset we need to change.
Okay.
If it happens naturally, fine.
Yeah, sometimes we have natural.
Sometimes it happens naturally. But if it doesn't, we don't need to, force that. There are a whole lot of knowledge a person could acquire, get consultants to guide on how to run an enterprise such that it becomes an institution, even when the founder is out. So once that is in place, with or without having a relative or a family relation to run it, the major thing is that the business or the organization lives on, continues the impact it's making.
Just like what I was telling him before we came on set, I was saying it's possible for someone to be into him or herself, like don't want to come up, like say, like a banker, for example, come, with like leaves home like
Okay.
very early.
Early.
Morning.
The child maybe because I have seen example of someone who will say, "I've not seen my child in broad daylight." I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes,
That
I
I hardly see, even on Sundays, that I hardly just maybe on Sundays alone, me and that Sunday itself, you know. So and then I was now telling him that it's possible for you to even, you know, engage yourself in an activity that you never thought of when it has been sold to you. Because at times we believe, okay, for some people, you only there are some jobs that you just have to, you know, have flair for.
Okay.
At times, some skills, it's because of the way it has been packaged. It's the way it's been, you know, thrown to you that you say, wow, let me give it a try. Before you know, you now begin to say, okay, fine. It's like I would love to do
Enjoy
this.
what
Like
I'm
this
doing.
thing is part of it. Like this thing is what I'm meant to do.
Exactly.
So not everybody that will have that inborn, not everybody that will have that flair, not everybody from the onset. But along the line, you find out that okay, fine. It's like this. So that's why I said it's very important, even in our present age, that we begin to pay more attention to, you know, trying to sell the things that is very right to the public. Just like, you know, High Impact is doing, you know, to the public. No, we know we're trying to let them understand that
mindsets,
we need to
right
build the right
ideologies,
mindset.
right
You
values,
understand?
yeah.
So I believe the churches, you know, organizations can do, like you were saying. Okay, an NGO. We're talking about the NGOs that it's about just making impact, so that people can understand the fact that it is not just about yourself. Number one, and then there's nothing is impossible.
Exactly.
So you can have that, you know, that phobia for, you know, engaging in skills. You can have that phobia for saying try new things.
Okay.
But you can get over it. It's possible.
True.
I think from there would go far.
Okay, so now we've been talking about children, parents looking at their children and
Okay.
then deciphering which one will suit them, you understand? So what of children that are very quiet? Because I know children have different personalities.
Yeah,
So sometimes you may not be able to tell which one they like, which one suits them, which one doesn't. But you answer that question after the break, because we need to go on a short break. And please stay glued, because when we are back from the break, the phone lines will be open and then you can ask questions and make your contributions. We're still talking about skills development. Stay glued. We'll be right back.
My name is Will Mackenzie, and these are my closest friends. I've known them since yesterday. Have it by throwing a football, which is also when I met the school's vice principal.
There she is. I have a shot now, okay? Having a car will level the playing field. Sport edition. What sport? Ultimate Frisbee? Can you just park? There's Carly. I'm going in. Somebody hold this. You wrote down my number? What'd you do that for? Just turn around. Turn around and go to Sunshine Mountain. Okay. Give me back my shoes. Get in the car. That kick the shoes.
Simon, we need to talk.
Oh, not talking.
I think we should break up.
All go on a mental holiday together. 2 weeks of sun, sea, sand, booze.
This down a lot of pictures.
Drink from under the table.
You're a traveller, aren't you?
Really? Stick with me, you'll be fine.
Look cool.
You're a virgin, it's cool.
If anything, it's famously uncool.
Well, it's cute then.
Oh, God, that's even worse.
Can one of you help me? I think she might be a two-man job.
What could be cooler than getting our names tattooed on each other?
Hello.
Oh, what? Gay Neil? No, it's just...
This is the program where you drop your cocky ways and bossy ways and just let's relax. You know the program, Eat Nightcap with Ronke. The couple.
I know.
How do you create all this?
With a power-packed team.
Who says Dwayne Johnson, The Rock? I don't know this one.
You should watch Korean movies.
Brown background, black background, brown background.
No, I didn't say background.
Background, I'm saying it.
Background.
Background.
So, beauty queen. Arrogant.
No. Oh.
Celebrity.
Yes! That's good though.
Okay, welcome back. It's still Tea or Coffee on High Impact Television. You know, in case you're just joining us, well, we still have many things and most things that we'll talk about. You know, today we're talking about skills development, and you can actually learn one or two from that. And the number to call to participate in the conversation, and if you have question or contribution, is +234 70 51432258. I repeat, +234 70 51432258. And the number is right there on your screen for you to call and give your contribution. Okay, so we still have Abraham Owosheni in the studio, and we still have Adedayo Adebogun in the studio. Before we went on break, Mojupe was talking about the question of children that are quiet and do not know how to express themselves. So how do you help that kind of child, you know, develop your skill? And you were giving an example while we're off break.
Yes, I was giving an example of, you know, a friend that is very quiet, and he growing up was very quiet, and his parents didn't know that, you know, he loved music, and they had the idea that, you know, he was should I say bookworm, just wanted to read and pass, and be in science class because he was so brilliant, you understand? So for that kind of child, he grew up now he's old, he's done with school, came out with a good grade, he's not using the grade, he's a musician, he's an artist, you know. So for that kind of child, how can parents help them develop their skill, you know, because at the end of the day, they may not even know that they have those skills.
Okay, so we're talking about a blend of personality type and all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing I like to say is parenting is very intentional. Okay, so irrespective of the temperament type of a child, that the intentionality of a parent is to actually, from the birth, you're actually very intentional about the growth, every single thing about the child. So irrespective of the personality type or the temperament, a parent can still get to have this bonding and, you know, closeness with the child. Either of the parents, be it the father or the mother, that has this bonding. Most times, you know, we get to know that there's actually maybe either of the parents that do have this strong bond with them. Sometimes people say mostly the mom, but some also the dad. And so the idea of both parents is to come together and say, oh, there is something about, we've observed about this child, this and that. And there will be one or two of them who will be able to say, okay, yeah, this is actually how this person is and all that. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
So, but it has to be intentional. It won't happen casually. Both parents will have to make it intentional. And then, close to the end of the illustration you were giving earlier on, you see, that's still where skills come in. Now, this part now is life skills. For example, as a child, growing up, yes, you know, even personally, I didn't have opportunity to life skills, right? UNICEF defines life skill, and they say that education that, you know, helps young people to acquire life skill has transformative potential. Right. So the meaning of that is, so they've come up with a framework they call life skill-based education, LSB, right? And that's one of the framework we use for our curriculum development of life skills too. And one of them that ties to the question you asked is, I'm talking about career guidance and counseling, whereby for a young person, be it in his junior high in school or senior high, or even before then, is consciously being guided on his career path, right? And then because of that guidance, the child could get home and, he could begin to express some things that the parents will begin to see. And it could, one of the counsel I give young people is, I've done a whole lot of career interventions, and young people get to tell me that, Mr. Abraham, we still find this cohesive challenge and approach from our parents. What do we do? So I tell them, what you are meant to do, you've not done, is that you don't wait till the time of choice before you start speaking with your parents. Before the time of choice, you started engaging your parents. Mom and Dad, have you found that I like to do this?
Sorry, in the course you should. We have a call. Reverend Jerry from Ali Moshaw. Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome to the show.
Morning. Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to ask a question or sort of.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Skill development in Nigeria. How does one get to the point to really market his own skills? Considering the fact that in Nigeria, paper qualification has high market value than the actual skill.
Okay.
In Nigeria, when you have skills, it's very difficult for you to market that skill. When people bring certificates, some of them don't even have such skills. They are placed higher. So how do you marry the two?
Okay.
With good reference to the gentleman in the studio there,
Thank you.
I salute your courage and what you are doing. But I think we have to reach out to the government, or maybe should reach out on the rooftops, that the government should disqualify or discourage the drive for paper qualification. Just before I go, please. If you look at Julius Berger, for instance, when you get there, many of the people who are directing affairs in that company, they have skills. Whereas those who have paper qualifications are doing manual jobs. So you have to look at that to be able to see how we can market our skills. Because it's really a concern. I have a lot of young men around me who have skills, but because they don't have proper qualifications, sometimes they get thrown out of places and they're just running about the street. I will allow the expert there to come in to speak. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for calling.
That's an important question. There,
It's just, similarly in line with what I was saying. Such that when that child begins to have this exposure on career guidance, he gets them and begins to share with his parents that, this is what I'm thinking about. This is the problem I'm attracted to solving. Okay. Just like the last caller said, this is a problem I'm attracted to solving. This is what I'm passionate about. These are the reasons. It's giving his parents the reasons. Number one, I feel I have this strength in this. I have a subject gift in this subject. I have this gift and ability in this one, and this and this and that. And so when he's done with that, the parents will be so surprised. They will be so shocked. You seem to be talking more than your age. Where did you learn it from? Because the idea of parents actually is to see how they can just help the child from making a wrong step. Yes. But most times in doing that, they actually make the child take the wrong step. And so when this guidance is done, the child has a better exposure to take the right direction. We call it informed decision, right? And so the parents could also begin to now work with him or her to say, okay, so now you are saying this, okay, and they begin to make real-time research findings. There was a time in this country whereby it was just a university that was offering a particular course of study that ties with nutrition and dietetics. There was a time that it was just one institution. But it took the parents of a particular ward that had this scenario to make a research and find that...
Sorry, hold on. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, Pastor Michael from Newi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to speak with Ibrahim. I was asking him something.
Okay, please, before you go on, can you turn down the volume of your TV set?
Okay.
Thank you.
Is that now?
Okay, so... Hello?
Hello?
Okay, Pastor Mike, we can hear you now.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
You can go on with your question.
Hello?
Okay, is that?
Okay, you can go on with your question.
I want to speak with Ibrahim on something.
Abraham, okay.
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, morning.
Sir.
Okay.
Go on, I can hear you.
Hello?
How can I do with Obi? You said something concerning a child that... Okay, you said something concerning a child that cannot express their feelings.
Okay.
Yes, so as in, okay, let me say, the child is an introvert, and you cannot speak up.
Okay.
So how will we dictate what the child likes and not likes?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for calling, Pastor Mike.
Okay, thanks for calling. Let me just quickly answer that.
Right.
We shared that earlier on. I don't know if he was watching then. Okay. We talked about giving the child varied exposures. So from the varied exposures, you know which one. He doesn't even need to say it. A child spends time in this place, that place. He doesn't need to say it. So you could actually see it practically. And so even if the child is introverted and is not having this public expression or this extroverted expression, it's something that can still be seen, and the parents can now spend more time on that. So that's just a basic one to that, right? And so to conclude the last earlier question, once that guidance is there, that child has a better direction. And just with the first caller that talked about paper qualification vis-a-vis skill. Yes. When you talk about the problem you want to solve, now then you ask the child, or the child even ask himself or herself, okay, now that I'm passionate to solve this problem, now that I am passionate to solve the life skill gap in Nigeria, what do I do? What skills do I need? Right? And so you begin to look through, when we talk about acquiring skills, maybe I was going to talk about that, right? But when you look at acquiring skills, there are a number of ways we can mainstream skills development. The common one everybody claims of is the formal education.
Okay. So we have another caller.
Okay.
Yes, we have Hassan from Bauchi State. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome to the show. Hello, Hassan.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Go on with your question.
Yeah.
About this morning, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello?
Wow.
Okay. All right. I think he's asking what we are talking about this morning. And it is right there on your screen. Skills development. We're talking about skills development. So do stay tuned to actually learn more and know more about skills development.
And probably call back to ask a question.
And call back, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so you were saying?
Yeah, I was saying mainstreaming skills development, we have about 3 or 4 ways. The common one is the formal education. And the idea was that, the initial idea actually was that a person finds a course of study, a course of life. And then he chooses a course of study to refine him and equip him in that path. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
I get you.
A person finds a course of life, and then he chooses a course of study in line with that course of life to equip him in that. But the issue currently now is that there's a missed gap whereby young people don't even know the course of life they are pursuing, but they just want to have a course of study. Let me just be in school. Let me just get to school. And they get to school, and there's actually there's no place I'm running towards.
Okay.
You see that kind of gap.
We had a caller online, but we lost it.
Right? Okay. So when you find out that there's actually no place I'm running towards, even after you now get there, you just stop and say, okay, so where was I running to? Now I have a first degree. Now I have a second degree. Where was I running to? Okay, what do I do with where I am now? So that's the gap we have, whereby young people don't know the course of life, but they have various courses of study for those who even get access to that level, and there's nothing to do with it. So first is identifying the course of life, right? Course of life. And then what problem do you want to solve while on this path? And what skills will you require? No, a child says, oh, I need professional skills. Okay, what professional skills do you need?
Okay, before you go on, we have Pastor Michael calling for the second question.
Yes.
Hello, Pastor Michael.
Okay, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I have my second question.
Okay.
Okay. I want to know, I know that acquiring skills as a child is very, very important. Now, but taking children after school every day to go to lessons, and to go to this place to acquire their skills, is there no risk in taking they love money. So is that not risky of taking them to school, or maybe we should wait after their school, maybe during the time to enter university, then they use that time to acquire a skill. So I want to know, is there any risk in taking them during their school period?
All right. Thank you so much for calling, Pastor Michael.
Okay. Well, let me take it from the first caller because there's a message I really need to pass.
Okay.
In the area of when I was talking about comparing the skill to the qualification.
Yes.
You know, one of the things when we see the focus of the government or the system, we as human are supposed to refocus on the right direction. So let me. I'm intentional for saying that, for the fact that when you see that this is the conventional approach, but you know the right approach, if you have the right skills, definitely you will be sought after. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes.
If you have the right skills and you can apply it very well, I'm talking. That's what I know. I'm trying to make it emphatical.
Yes.
Like, if you understand. Like, for example, the last caller I was talking about, is it not better for you to just let your child go for coaching, extra coaching? When you look at the Western world, why do you think these kids are very smart? It's because their minds are broadened, their minds are exposed. Now what their brain can take is bigger, in fact, is even bigger than what maybe a medical doctor, an MD in a particular a remote country can take. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. So now they can solve mathematics easily. They can assimilate English. They can dissect, calculus. Because why? Because they've been able to travel their mind far from academics. Like, man, you're a big boy. Let's do basketball. Let's understand. Let's go to the seaside. Let's see things. So the mind is already seeing beyond. It's already seeing the future. While the conventional approach in the remote countries, the child is just mathematics. Let's do SWOT analysis. Let's do, and that's what he's doing. So the mind is already is narrowed down to that. Unlike the person who has a broadened mind, who has already tried too many things, he's already thinking like a daddy. He's thinking like someone who is an adult. So he can now say, okay, fine, let me come down to the level of those in my class. I've gone out, I've gone on vacation. I was about to ask a question. The person who's the first caller, that do we pay more attention to our kids? It's very important. We may say, okay, fine, a child is not, you don't easily, like your question, it's not easily, you cannot easily get to know, his likes, what he would probably become. Because in Nigeria, even the system that we have, even in Lagos, some parents, just like I said, do not even have time at all. So you need to create that time because it's not magic. You cannot just say, that's intentional, just like you said. So you must ensure that, yes, I can, you cannot say, okay, I saw my baby when he was sleeping, so I should know what he likes. It's not possible. You understand? So I saw a narration when it comes to acquiring life skills. I was talking about someone, a carpenter who has gotten all the tools and does not have the required skills to put in all those things together. You have the plywood, has everything available. When the skill is not there,
that's what happens with paper.
You become just like a moron. Just look at, you cannot make things happen. I was talking about the hierarchy of skill development. At the top, he was talking about craft in the sense that you can invent. But that's until when you get to that level, because like now we have kids in our own world. Who will do the conventional approach of going to school in the morning, coming back home, and then during vacation, they still will do the same routine. And you want them to become, smart. They just like a circle. So they go round and round and round, and then they get tired, they get bored. That's why you find that kids don't want to go to school. Kids don't enjoy school because it's boring. Thank you. It's boring. So now we are supposed to now delve into the approach of trying to say, okay, fine, let's create time for ourselves, for family. It's good for family. It's going to for bonding. So let's create time. Even weekends, we'll go to church, fine. But do we create time for me and my family? See, that's an average Western world man is very particular about his family. He will tell you we are going for picnic. He will tell you we are going on vacation. Why do you think that? It's not just that they want to go and throw money in the air, because they know the value that will have to their family. They know what it will have to the kids. So I think we need to come from that angle and begin to, we need to scale up as, because now we say Nigeria is developing. We are moving on. Gradually. So we need to also scale up in the sense that, okay, fine, banking job will take me around the clock. I will not see my kids. And then on a Saturday, maybe I will still have to go and fix the ATM machine. All those things, like you still need to there's still some eventual, some things that are unavoidable scenarios that will still happen.
So I know.
But out of, look at it.
Answering that question.
You get.
Because of our time, let's answer the last caller's question.
Okay.
Yes, okay. So he was talking about children now wanting to not go to school once they acquire the skill and then they realize they can get money from it
and they don't want to go to school again.
So,
that's why I talked about the fact that one of the first things that, we have a life skill course that we'll talk about. The title is Purpose, Potential, and Destiny. Okay. Just shorten that's PPD. Okay. Right? And the idea of that life skill course is to help young people gain a picture about their life. Right? That's the first thing, that's the first exposure a child needs. Okay. Right? He needs to just understand, okay, now that I'm on earth, is there anything more to me than just me, myself? What am I living for? What's the destination? What's the destiny ahead of me? Right? So that's the first exposure. Once that exposure is put in place with the requisite organizations, CBOs, FBOs, NGOs that administer that, like we do, a child gets that understanding. And then following it comes the and, just like you talked about it, the and skill. And then from the and skill, so a child actually knows that, I'm actually acquiring this and skill because of these. So this one is actually a means to an end, not the end in itself. So, but when it's the other way around, the child sees that as the end in itself, makes the little token he's making out of it for the short time, and then, it's just a gap again. Right? So that first must be put in place. There's what I call the mind versus the and.
Okay.
The mind versus the and talks about the fact that skills development will start from the mind. Okay. And then it grows from the mind to the and.
Okay.
But without the mind first, you're just acquiring the and. So, for example, you find a number of persons who have had some technical and skill, vocational skills, but then the mind part is missing. The administration is missing. The purpose is missing. There's still a wide disconnect.
Okay.
So it must grow from the mind to the
hand.
end.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Yes. With no doubt, this conversation has been interesting, and I wish we could actually go on and on, but because of our time, we need to wrap up the show. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And Adedayo.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Yes, all right, so that is all we can take on today's episode on Tea or Coffee. My name is Wura Olapopola. Make sure that you have a good day.
And my name is Mudupe Jacobs. Thank you for watching Tea or Coffee. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.